Hey everybody, it's Kelby with Fire Through Fog. I wanted to take the time to thank you personally for giving us your time to listen to these episodes and supporting us. And if you want to support us any other way, you can go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Fire Through Fog, where there's some other posts and all the episodes get posted there. So if you want to help out, spread this as far and as wide as possible, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for listening to our episodes, and I hope you enjoyed today's. Good afternoon, everybody. Kelby here with you, riding solo today with Fire Through Fog. I am here with two very special guests, Dustin and Tonya Johnson, and you're not Dustin Johnson, the golfer, correct? Do you get that at all?
Dude, I get it all the time. The only problem with it is because I like social media too, and it's impossible to out SEO, or it has been so far. I haven't done enough awesome shit to out SEO a professional golfer. And part of that problem is he got himself in a little bit of trouble a couple years back. So his sheets are like 10, 12, 15 pages long on Google. I'm just trying to catch up, man. But yes, a lot of people are like, oh, the golfer, you know. So yes, I have not won any PGA tours.
I had to ask it. But you have other successes in your life. So, and that starts off, we'll just hit it off the bat right now. You guys are just, you said this past Friday, best-selling authors on your recent book, How to Live a Healthy Lifestyle. Yes. Congrats to you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I have it in my cart waiting for order day.
Awesome. I don't know. Yeah. So literally on Friday, we officially dropped our book called How to Live a Healthy Lifestyle. And within 10 or 12 hours, we became #1 bestsellers on Amazon.
That's awesome.
And it seems like one of them things that like, oh, you just wrote a book and put it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, man, over the last 3 years with social media and our YouTube and all the things that Tonya and I do, we've just put out a ton of content. We've got, several followers and things like that. And it was basically just one of them, like, perfect timing, teamed up with the perfect people that are in our space and in our circles. And honestly, we dropped the book just before we go on tour, which is what I'm sure we're going to get into eventually on this podcast today. But it's just a bunch of stuff all kind of happened at one time, and it all worked together. And here we are, #1 bestsellers on Amazon.
That is awesome.
I'm more grateful.
Yes,
that's totally so cool. It's so cool. I'm sure that's a great achievement, and you guys take a lot of fulfillment from that.
The biggest thing for me was one of my buddies called, and he wanted to be the first person to tell us congratulations and way to go and things like that. But we talked for about 10 minutes, and about 9 minutes into it, he said, just remember, nobody can ever take this from you. Like,
exactly.
It's a title that you've earned. It's something that you've done, and no one can ever take that from you. And as you guys hear our story and as you kind of see this all unfold, at no point did I ever think that I was going to be an author or a bestseller or a fitness coach or any of these things. It's just all from doing the work over and over again and getting to where we're going, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I said, and just being patient with the process as well.
And I'm saying your name right, Tonya?
That's correct.
Okay, yes. Okay. And I know you guys, I'm sure you know, is to not settle and it's on to the next thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. And that's like today is already like there's been several irons in the fire. There's been several things that are kind of starting to fight back. And it's like, okay, all right, today's going to be one of them type of days. Okay.
You're rolling with the punches.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and just go for the ride.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I mean, I'm proud of you guys. I just met you today, and I've been talking to Dustin a little bit, so that's awesome, guys. Congrats. And you guys also run a business together. Is this the only thing you guys have right now? Is it?
Yes.
It's the VIKINGS and VIXENS?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to read your quick synopsis on the front page of the website, if that's all right. So Vikings and VIXENS was formed to help people with their nutrition and fitness goals. Being in shape and living a healthy lifestyle creates an abundance in areas that most cannot fathom. We have 3 options to work with you in building the health and fitness lifestyle you want. Our goal is to help you help yourself. Unlike other coaches, we don't want to work with you forever. We want to equip you with the knowledge and tools to maximize your life. So I like that because you're not just focused, like you're wanting to maximize their life, not just overall fitness and health. But fitness and health is definitely a huge building block of our foundation. So that's really cool. And
100%.
When you first reach out to me, or I think that I reach out to you about the fitness?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reached out to you because I just seen that you had a fitness group and it seemed very interesting to me. I like the whole Vikings. I love that. So is there something you have with that? Is there a background to that?
So I'm like, my heritage comes from like Scandinavia. So I do have the Viking blood, so to speak. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of them like Viking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for her, being that it's male and female, we did the vixen for her. I actually have a tattoo of her in like a naughty nurse situation. So it's just kind of like that savagery, man. It's just kind of like simplicity, if that makes sense. Like when you think of Vikings, man, they had, you know, some tools and they had some hard work.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we do. We provide people tools and we put in some freaking hard work.
Heck yeah.
And at the end of the day, people are living better lives when they leave us.
That's awesome.
And that's honestly like behind the whole thing, like it's a cool name and it's clicky and all that. But at the end of the day, it's simple. We like to say it's so simple a savage could do it. Like, yo, you got some tools, got some stuff to do. Now let's go.
So what's what's a vixen?
So a vixen's like a devilish or troublemaker or go ahead.
Like just like a sexy figure, basically, like being confident and sexy with your own self. Portray with the
kind of like a male and female type thing. The Vikings and then like vixens.
Yep.
Okay.
The male is the Viking, you know, and then the woman's more like the sexy vixen, confident of her abilities and
awesome. That's a sweet name. Together. I really like it. So how long have you guys been married?
12 years as of June 13th of this year.
Congrats. That is awesome. How'd you guys meet?
At a bar.
So met at a bar.
I was literally playing on the jukebox. I was putting money in the jukebox and I had a strange pull to turn around just from like energy. And I turned around and there she was and we locked eyes. I walked all the way with her with my eyes. She said some things to her friends, turned around and walked back out. And I just looked at my buddy and said, I don't know who that is, but we need her the rest of the night. Yeah.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
So I was
just, we knew from the get-go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We just knew from the get-go.
That's kind of how it goes. Those are cool stories when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so I reached out mainly. So recently I wanted to start the Stoke Your Fire episode, which was to have people come on and provide a resource for fire that was broken down into fitness, intelligence, resilience, and efficiency. And I wanted to reach out for you. You guys were going to be my first one, Stoke the Fire episode, to provide a resource in fitness and health. Come to find out, I took a deeper dive today into your guys' bios on the website, and you guys have quite a bit of fog in your life that you had to get through. Now we have turned it into a Stoke Your Fire episode and a foggy episode. So if you guys just want to go ahead and jump off and tell your story in your words, it doesn't matter who starts, just go ahead. I want to hear this.
You're up.
Okay. Well, start my story off. Obviously you heard that Dustin and we met at a bar. But prior to us meeting, I guess we can just jump kind of right into the fog of life. I'm a small town girl, grew up in a small town, and that's kind of where we met, was in a small town. But before we met, I had previously just been diagnosed with a disease called endometriosis. And at the time, it was kind of something that wasn't really common. Like, it was still kind of an unknown disease that was going on. So I was dealing with that. And actually I had my first surgery and was diagnosed like 2 months before I met Dustin. So when we started seeing each other, I came out and was like, yo, hey, I've got this disease that I'm battling with. I've had surgery for it. And continued to have surgeries over the years. And at the time, like there's really no cure for endometriosis. You just kind of keep going in and they laser and cauterize the pieces that they see on your insides. And then you go about your way. Sometimes they put you on hormonal replacements, or they put you on prescription pain pills so you can function, which is what happened to me. And at the age of 26, I ended up having a hysterectomy because of the disease.
Wow.
So that was kind of quite a battle that we had to endure, one of many things. But at the age of 26, we were freshly married. We'd only been married for 3 years. And we had to make the decision together of either having quality of life or not having children of our own. So obviously, like, we went with the choice of having quality of life. And that was a really hard decision to make. But at the time, it didn't seem like it was such a tough decision, because my quality of life was really important. So.
Yeah, so endometriosis is actually a female disease. Give them a little bit of that, because most people don't know.
Sure. So endometriosis, it affects the female reproductive system. And basically what it is it's like the lining of a woman's uterus grows on the outside of other organs. So it can grow, on her ovaries, fallopian tubes, liver, all these other places. And when a female has her monthly menstrual cycle, what happens is when she's supposed to shed that lining, she's actually shedding inside. So the lesions, that they call them, are bleeding on the inside, which causes adhesions and scar tissue. And it just kind of creates some really, really painful pelvic pain, which was kind of something I dealt with a lot. Some females don't have it so severe. There's different stages of it. And then there's some females who have it really severe, where like mine was, I think it was like a stage 4, I think is what they called it, which is the worst. And I was in pain pretty much all the time. So I had to basically be on prescription pain pills just to function and go to work. Now, some people don't have it that severe. Some people have it even more severe, where they end up with colostomy bags and stuff, because they have to have things taken out to get rid of the disease.
How common is this?
Go ahead.
What's that?
How common is it in females?
Now, it's more common than what I would like to admit. So when I was first diagnosed in 2008, it wasn't very common at the time. And now it seems like every time you turn around, some female, probably 1 in 10, has the disease.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'll bet it's even more than that. When I first met Tonya, it was the beginning. Literally the first night, she said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I have this disease." And I was kind of like, "Cool, man, sounds good. That don't mean shit to me. Let's keep doing what we're doing." And
not knowing what it all entails.
Yeah, so like 3 and 4 months later, she had her first surgery that I was present at. And to be honest, back then, man, endometriosis wasn't believed in, especially in someone as young as her. And so she went through a lot of stuff from not only doctors, but they would legitimately like, "Oh, you're just a drug addict," or "You don't have them problems," or "That shit's all in your head." And so she would have to fight with doctors like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I am miserable. I have pain."
Wow.
And most of them would say, "No, you're just a drug addict. You don't need any more prescription pills. You don't need, you are psychotic. You don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, actually, my very first doctor I went to, a friend had recommended this doctor to me. And I remember going in there and I felt super nervous because I never went to see a specialist before. Every doctor I'd seen before that was like, "Oh, it's normal. It's just the time of the month. You probably just have a cyst on your ovary, not a big deal." So when I went and seen this specialist, I'd already got put on prescription pain pills so I could function, because I was missing so much work. And he literally told me that I was crazy to even think that I had such a disease because I was too young. And then he did accuse me of being addicted to prescription pain pills. So I had to beg him to just do surgery to find out what was going on inside. And when he finally did do the surgery, found out that I was completely covered in endometriosis on the inside. So at that moment, it was kind of like a sign of relief to be diagnosed with something, because I actually had an answer as to why I felt the way I did.
Wow.
But it was a really hard battle for a few years, actually, up until I found the doctor who did my hysterectomy. I went through, I think, 2 or 3 different doctors, and I had to fight just to like have them do something, because they didn't believe in me. And I think that's the hardest part, when you're going through something that you know something is wrong, but nobody believes what you are feeling or what's going on with you, because you look normal on the outside, but you feel like such crap on the inside, and you can't prove that to other people.
And you're in your 20s at this time, right?
Yeah. So I was 22 when I was first diagnosed. I got a hysterectomy at the age of 26.
So it's
and then I just had my last surgery 2 years ago in 2019.
And they just kept accusing you of, I mean, wonder if that was just, it's crazy to me. Like, wonder if they just kept accusing you because of your age. Yeah.
Yeah. Her first doctor actually wanted to fist fight me. She literally had her surgery. It was the day I asked her to marry me. And this dude's like 70 years old, and he comes out, and I'm not real big on like insides and guts and blood and all that. And so I'm just sitting with her parents at this table, and this dude shows up, and he's got a file full of pictures, and he just goes like this and throws them all on the table. And it was all of Tonya's insides. And I was like, I've been dating this girl like 3 or 4 months. This is weird. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of like head down, leg shaking, because I was uncomfortable. And the guy was like, yo, what's up with you? You got something to say? And I was like, no, this just makes me uncomfortable. And he's like, well, if you got something to say, why don't you just come over to the table and say something then? And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, man, you got a problem with me. Why don't you come over to this side of the table and tell me about it? By this time, I'm like 23 years old. I'm sliding my chair back. I'm ready to put my foot up on the table. And her dad was like, no, don't do this. Do not get up. He's like, yo, tell the doctor, whatever, like, just let it go. But that honestly was the beginning of our fight. And every doctor that I dealt with until she had hysterectomy was very unprofessional. And what I mean, like the second doctor I dealt with, she came out with her mask on after surgery that has all the blood splatter and she's covered in blood and all. And I'm just like, this is the best that we can do. This is how we portray, like, hey, I was just inside of your wife's systems, and this is how I came out to talk to you. And I'm just kind of like, man, I don't really like how all this goes down. But there's nothing I could do about it. Yeah. We got lucky. We found an awesome doctor that did what she needed, took care of what she needed to take care of, and ultimately gave us the all clear in 2019 that Tonya no longer has endometriosis, or she didn't at the time that she had the surgery. So we're That's good awesome. There. The problem is like she said, we had already made the decision, to not have children. And that was a tough one. And it turns out now that we're 8 or 10 years removed, we realize how much 2012 affected us. And so a little backstory on me. You now know her story. 2012, she has a hysterectomy. A little backstory on me. In 2010, I was playing in a volleyball tournament. I banged my elbow up, bent it backwards, and Tonya gave me some of her prescription pain pills and was like, oh, here you go, try these. And I was like, okay, cool. So I popped them 2 pills, and they changed my life forever. It was like the most incredible feeling. Nothing hurt, nothing bothered me. I was floating, and everything was golden. And so for the next couple of years, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And by the time she had surgery in 2012, I was taking 6,000 milligrams of prescription pain pills every day. I was drinking, we were drinking 30-pack of Busch Light every night. I was smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And that's it. Like, that's where we were thinking that we were good. And so we realize now that year was very hard on us, and we did everything we could to make it extremely harder, right? So instead of taking care of our bodies, we were doing drugs and alcohol. Instead of, finding help, we was running away from help. Instead of doing this, we were stacking up debt. And so we were basically building away from the way that we wanted to be headed, and it finally came crumbling down. On October 14th of 2012, I checked into treatment facility in Knoxville, Tennessee for drugs and alcohol, and for the next 34 days, I spent in a treatment center that was a lot like jail or prison, so to speak. We were basically up at 5 a.m. and we went until 10 p.m. and you had meetings and classes all day long every day, which was cool. It was what I needed. I needed that break. I needed to get out of it. But from there is where our story started to change. And when I left treatment, I had lost 17 pounds just being in treatment and not doing drugs, more or less. A lot of it was, I used to just do drugs all day, and then I'd go 2 or 3 days, and then I would eat a large pizza and pass out. And long story short, that's horrible on everything and in every way that you can be, and it wreaks havoc on your health. So again, I lost 17 pounds just not doing drugs, more or less. And
was
so
it, sorry to interrupt, was it mostly, you said it was pain pills?
Yeah.
Prescription pills?
I would say, so between gabapentin and Oxycontin, it was almost 6,000 milligrams a day.
Wow.
He said, wow. Yeah, that's what the psychologist said too.
Yeah.
When I walked into the psychologist in the treatment center, he said, "What's your story?" I said, "I take 6,000 milligrams of prescription pain pills a day." He said, "Man, there ain't too many guys like you left." I said, "No, they're all dead."
That's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story continues. So go ahead. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. No, you're good. That's the interesting stuff, man. The cool thing is this is where it gets better. When I left, we started improving ourselves together, if that makes sense. So we were broke as shit. We owed on our house, our motorcycles, our cars, our credit cards. We owed on everything. And I just wanted to start improving our lives. So we knew we needed to pay a bunch of debt off, but I knew that was going to take a bunch of time. I knew we had caused some havoc in our relationship, just in drugs and women and flirting and infidelity and all these things. So I knew we needed to work on that, but it wasn't going to happen overnight. And I knew that I needed to work on me. And I also knew that that was an uphill battle. So I chose fitness. And the reason I chose fitness and the reason she chose fitness is 100% honesty. And nobody's going to believe me when I say this. We started it because it was free. And what I mean by that is anybody can do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, burpees, jumping jacks, run, sprint, swim, hike, bike. Like you can do a million things with fitness without a gym membership. You don't even have to have shoes to do this. And that was, honest to God, all that I had time. I knew I could make it. If I could do 10 push-ups today, then I was already changing my health. And I knew that it had to be cheap because I was broke as shit. So free was awesome. And
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it put that way. I've heard fitness is free and everything, but just how you said it is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that's like, keep it simple. Like so many people overcomplicate all of what we're about to share with you.
Very true.
And it's like, keep it super simple. So focusing on fitness, as long as I could do 10 push-ups each day, and 11 tomorrow and 12 the next day, as long as I was better than the day before, I knew that my health was getting better and I could afford to do 11 push-ups. And that's, honest to God, where we started. So 2013, I think we bought maybe $100 total worth of some workout equipment. We was working out in our garage gym in Nebraska. It was -1 degrees out.
So cool.
And we were just in the gym doing fitness, right? And we didn't know no better. We were just doing it. And so after, 6-8 months, we decided maybe we should start eating a little bit better. And it was like, okay, we'll stop eating casseroles and starting to adjust some of our food a little bit. And then from there, man, we realized that, hey, we've been working out for like 6 months together every day after work. I kind of like hanging out with you after work. This is kind of fun. So our relationship was starting to get better, right? We've been paying down some of this debt while we've been doing all this working out. And the next thing you know, it's like our lives were starting to sort of be on track.
Okay.
We frequented AA and NA for about 3 years to give us the solid foundation of accepting responsibility for the things that we had done and learning how to move forward in life. And that's what's beautiful about these coaching programs. That's what's beautiful about all these things is none of these coaches and none of these people are going to do anything for you. It's all on you, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I can give you a book. I can give you a program. I can give you whatever. But if you don't do none of it, nothing will ever happen. And so that was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned in AA. And it was, number one was you had to take responsibility. And I'm talking, I had to take responsibility for the things I said, for the things I'd done, for the things I owed on, for the things I still had yet to be caught on. And all of that was mine. And once I realized that it wasn't my mom's upbringing, it wasn't my dad's whatever, it wasn't my sister's fault, it wasn't my teacher's, third grade teacher's fault, it wasn't my, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the PE teacher, it was me. And everything that had happened up until that day was my responsibility. And when I accepted that, and when she accepted that, and we accepted that everything that her and I did moving forward was up to us and no one else was going to be there for us, that was where we started making ground.
That's awesome. Because usually you hear people they use that as a crutch their whole life is, I've had a bad upbringing. My mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, everything. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. And they never get out of that. And that's like, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. It's just like, you got to act. You got to start doing something. I mean, you have an option. You have a choice that you can make right now. And you guys did that. And that's awesome. And I commend you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, to be honest with you, like you said, you don't really know how to say it. Like, you got to take responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't care what has happened to you or for you. It is your responsibility. And as soon as you start living like, if that was my fault, then it's also my responsibility to change my life, then you give credit to nobody. Mm-hmm. And now you know, I made it to 36 years old. I started this company. I built this relationship. I have money in the bank. I drive the car that I drive because I did it. You know what I'm saying? And when you get there, when it's all you, the wins are yours and the losses are yours, it becomes very, very humbling and powerful. Mm-hmm. The problem is we like to give all our power to everybody else. Oh, that's my mom's fault. Yep. Well, I got depressed. Well, I'm addicted to pain pills, or I got a bad back, or I got this, or I got that. Shit, I got it. I've had shots in my spine, shots in my knee. I've been to treatment. We've had a hysterectomy. I've been broken shit. We all have it. But until you can take responsibility of it, until you can make a plan to change it, it'll never change, and it'll always be somebody else's fault.
Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff. That's very powerful. I love that. So you guys decided you made this choice, and I mean, what was next?
Yeah, so 13 through 17 or 18, say 17.
I say 13 through 17.
We basically were just grinding, man, nose down, like no social media. We didn't like, I knew nothing about, yeah.
Really much of a thing for us. It was the casual look on Facebook, see what your friends are doing, but you didn't really post anything. Like you hear the comment, like looking at cat videos, and like that's kind of what our Facebook life was like if we had it.
Yeah. So for them 4 years, like we really, really took off. Like I used to drink 12 Mountain Dews a day, and it was the biggest thing that Tonya and I focused on is being 1% better than you were yesterday in all areas of life. And so for fitness, it was like, you know what, I need to stop drinking pop or soda, however you guys say it. But I went from 12 pops to 6, and then 6 to 3, and then 3 to 1, and then 1 to every other day.
Baby steps.
And then it was like, shit, I don't drink pop anymore.
Yeah.
Next. Cool. I don't do fast food. Like we in our coaching group, we talk about an excellence mindset. And when you talk about an excellence mindset, where is excellence for you? For me, my excellence is the least I will go to fast food is a stand-up counter serve restaurant. So think of like Chipotle. That's the least crappy food or the most crappy food that I'm going to eat. So McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Runza, all of them are not even in my vocabulary. They are garbage to me. Like throw all of that in the trash. And if it's not a counter serve restaurant like Subway or Chipotle, where you can pick your toppings and basically make your meal, then I don't go there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for me, that is my excellence. I demand excellence in the food that I eat. I demand excellence in that we build in our mindset. As we've moved forward with the next thing and the next thing. Yeah, so like I was saying, if it's not Subway or Chipotle where you can legitimately order the things that you want, then I don't want to go there. So like, I have no idea what's inside of a McDonald's burger. I have no idea what's inside of Taco Bell's gooey thing that they sell. And so in my pursuit of excellence, I don't want to put that into my body. And that's just the choice that I have made. So again, back to the soda, like 12 to 6, 6 to 1, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole point is being better than you were yesterday. So if I didn't eat McDonald's yesterday, that means I ain't eating McDonald's today. And it's truly that simple, right? And just like I said earlier, if I did 10 push-ups and the next day I could do 11, I'm improving my health. Mm-hmm. And that was for the next 4 years, basically the things that we were focusing on. It was like, we were dialing in our nutrition. We were dialing in our fitness. We were dialing in all of our lives.
We just started small. Like we would pick one thing, like he said, you pick soda. Okay, I'm just going to focus on soda. And then maybe it was today or this week, I'm going to focus on eating one healthy meal every single day. And then maybe I'm going to try to cook one good meal every single day. So it's just those small little things that we started to just kind of build a snowball effect on. Because when you start looking too far in the future or too far ahead at the big goal, it can seem overwhelming and people want to quit because it seems too daunting of a task to get to. But if you break it down into smaller little actionable steps that you can focus on daily, like that's what we did. And that's what helped us continue to build the momentum to make it a healthy lifestyle for us.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I like that whole snowball effect. I mean, it doesn't just work for debt either. Oh, Dave Ramsey's snowball effect, but it can work for anything, almost anything in life. So at the time, what were you doing for an occupation?
Yeah. So I actually built bridges for the railroad for 13 years, and we'll get into that here in a second.
Okay.
When we first met, I was working at a maximum security prison. And then
I was not in there. Don't get any ideas.
I was a training instructor for maximum security prison. And then I went back to college and got my Associates of Applied Science degree in surgical technology. So that's what I did before this. Yeah. So what I said was I would get back to it. In 2017, we was kind of busted up again, and we had kind of fell apart in our relationship. And what I mean by that is sexually, we had pulled apart. So she had dealt with endometriosis. She had the surgery. We was eating well. We was drinking water. We was exercising. But our hormones were both out of whack. I was equivalent to like a 90-year-old man. She was equivalent to non-existent. Real talk. Like her hormones were basically non-existent. And so when it comes to the bedroom, there was zero ties on her end, but on my end, there was needs to be met. And I basically came to her one day and said, look, I have needs, you have needs, mine need met, yours need met. How do we meet in the middle and make this happen? And we basically sat down straight up and discussed how we was going to move forward with me sleeping with another woman and still being married to her. It was like we wanted to be married, but we couldn't have sex or be in the bedroom together because we were literally polar opposites. And so we kind of like started this and started trying it. And I had another girl in a town 2 hours away. Nothing had happened. We were just kind of starting to foster this relationship. And we had discussed it. This was completely open. So everybody listening is not like, holy shit. No, like this was completely open and honest. And we were just talking about it. And so the week came where it was like, all right, it's on. You're good to go. You go do your thing. I'll go do my thing, because I traveled when I built bridges for the railroad. So I traveled all 13 years. I lived in motels the whole time. And so I was 2 hours away from home, living in this motel, and she was at home. And I left for work that day with the full intentions of moving forward with this other woman in this other town and then coming home to her on the weekend. And I got, 20 minutes to work, and I got a text, and she said, whatever you do, don't do it. And it was just like, okay, perfect. So what she didn't realize is I have been fighting for our relationship. Like, yo, we need to be together. And she was pulled away because we weren't a good fit. And I was like, no, we're good. Hormones were so high and mine were non-existent. And so with not being able to feel his needs, it was kind of like, I don't really know what to do in this position, and we're a married couple. I'm not about to be a person that's saying like, I'm going to give up on my marriage, so go ahead and sleep with this other woman. But knowing that deep down, like when he left that morning, I was going to work and it was on my mind heavy. And I just remember like I was crying at work and I was like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You can't let him do that. Like, fight for your freaking marriage. And so I sent him the message thinking like, man, is he going to be pissed at me because I'm telling him no? Like, or is he just going to go through with it? Like, there was all these feelings going on. I was like, it doesn't matter. I have to say my piece. I have to say, please do not go through with that. And so me saying those words were what he really needed to hear, was like, okay, she wants to fix this marriage. She wants to have this marriage and not move forward with it. So everything that I stopped him from doing is exactly what he needed at that time. And it was kind of like that eye-opening effect, like, okay, we need to work on us.
Yeah. So we literally that weekend went home, did some talking, figured some things, and we sold everything we owned. And what I mean is we got all the way down to 6 totes worth of stuff. And by totes, I mean the ones you get at Menards or whatever, the black ones with the yellow lid. That's all we had, 6 totes, everything. We sold. I had more tools and we had tons of stuff. We sold it all and started traveling. She came with me on the road to build bridges for the railroad. So 2018, we literally was in 25 different states. We went and seen and did everything possible. We started dating again. We was going out. We was having fun. And what ultimately happened was the first 10 years of our marriages, I had been on the road 6 days out of the week. And we were basically living as roommates and doing what we could when I was home. And so now that we was on the road and we was living together, it was kind of that first like, oh, this is what it's like being with you 7 days a week. And so we were learning each other. We were learning how to maneuver travel. We were learning how to date each other. We were learning new cities and new places and all kinds of new stuff. And it was beautiful because it ultimately helped us build the relationship that we have today. And that's, dude, there's no more stressful thing than being downtown Seattle at 5 p.m. when all the homeless people are headed to the mission and all the cars are, and you're stuck and it's like she's running the GPS and I'm driving this big truck through town. And like those are the things that gave us the quality of life that we have today, was going through the fog, so to speak.
That's awesome.
Figuring each other out, testing new waters. And like I said, honestly, the first 10 years of our marriage, we were basically separated because I was literally only home, a few nights a week at best.
We spend maybe 24 to 48 hours together a week, period.
That's hard. That's got to be hard.
Yeah. And so by then, dude, we had done the CrossFit Open. I had wrestled in an old man's tournament. We had taken fitness to the extreme, or fitness as a lifestyle, right? And so middle of 2018, I got certified as a nutrition coach. I started a company called Sunrise Nutrition and Fitness. And 2 months later, she's like, you know what? I want to help people. Yeah. I want to inspire people. I want to show people how to live a healthy lifestyle.
I got a quick question. I'm sorry. Sorry before we get too far, because I feel like this is a pretty cool thing, because I know a lot of people struggle with this, the hormone thing, the imbalances and everything. Did you guys do anything medically for that, or was it just reconnecting and making that move?
No. Oh, yeah.
So medically, so he went and got his hormones tested. And then you were on for about a year, and I was struggling really bad. I knew something was wrong with me because I was working out, I was eating healthy, but nothing was changing. And I was having cystic acne all over. And I was like, there's just something wrong. So I went to a doctor that's in the same area where he was going, and found out where I was low too. So we both got put on testosterone, and then
hormone replacement therapy is what it's called.
Yeah, hormone replacement therapy. And so that made a huge difference. And I think that, a lot of people, it doesn't hurt to get your hormones checked, because sometimes even when you think that you're doing everything right and things are not happening, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with like the foods we eat and things like that, that we're not getting the things that we actually need. So that's been a huge help for me personally in my journey. I mean, obviously, yes, I've had a hysterectomy, but just having my hormones checked has helped me get my everything else under control.
Yeah, so a lot of people think like, oh crap, they're like on D-ball and anabolic steroids. No, this is literally your natural hormones being replaced. Because when I went in the first time, my hormones were like 160, which was equivalent to like a 70-year-old man. The second time I went in, I was like 130, which was equivalent to like a 90-year-old man. And my problem is not only was my testosterone really low, my estrogen was really high. So I had basically on the inside turned into a female, realistically. I was high in estrogen and low in testosterone. And so when people say like, oh no, I go through hormone replacement therapy, it's not like, you know, you just get huge and you get all these awesome steroids and all these things. No, it's like, it's legitimately to help you, because low testosterone for men is actually way more a health risk than high testosterone. And so, you know, lack of sleep, not being able to lose weight, all kind of tired, groggy, erections, like, you get it, man. Your hormones literally affect everything. And here's the problem. Your food has all been tampered with. There's nothing in America that hasn't been tampered with. Everybody's seen them little watermelons that are this big and that are seedless. Yeah, they created that. Yep. That didn't happen on its own.
The cotton candy flavored grapes?
Yeah, so like...
You've ruined everything
GMOs,
for me.
Yeah. All the GMOs, all the, you know, animals are being injected with more and more stuff, and we're ingesting that either through the water, through the air, or through our food. And that is, honest to God, like a real pandemic, because everybody's having problems with hormones. They just don't even realize it yet, man. And it's insane. But that's something we're going to have to fight as we continue to grow as a society and things like that. But it's a real thing. And so I recommend everybody get all of their levels checked. And that means your blood, your HDLs, all them things.
Yeah, blood for sure.
Everything checked. 100%, man. You got to know what you're working with, or you can never make any adjustments. And I mean, that's one thing we talk about both with fitness and nutrition is I can't fix your nutrition if you have no clue what you ate. I can't fix your workouts if you have no clue what you did last week on Tuesday.
Exactly.
And so being able to know what your numbers are, being able to know what's happening on the inside of your body, then you can make adjustments on the outside of your body that will help to start adjusting the inside.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So sorry to run that out a little bit on the hormones, but that was great information. I took a lot from that. So I'll probably be going to getting my hormones tested soon just to be safe, you know? So you left off, you were talking about, was it 2018? You did some couple competitions.
Yeah. So we had done the CrossFit Open in 2018. Like I said, we'd done some powerlifting,
we were kind of just getting into, as we had started in our health and fitness journey, trying to like navigate and find things that maybe we would enjoy. And I recommend that to anybody who is starting in their health and fitness, that it doesn't have to be, you just go to the gym all the time, like try different things. And that's kind of what we did, was like, hey, I've never done that before. That looks interesting. Let's try it. Oh, I really hate that. I'm not going to do that again. But you're giving yourself the option to try different things and maybe find something you enjoy, because oftentimes I think the reason why people quit working out or doing fitness altogether is that they end up hating it. Like, I don't want to go and run on the treadmill. I don't want to go lift deadlifts. I don't want to. Cool. What do you enjoy doing? Is it Zumba? Is it going to a class? Is it CrossFit? Is it Spartan races? Is it mud runs? Like, try different variety of things. And that's kind of what we did from, I would say, 2016 to today, honestly. Like, because we're still, our fitness is always evolving. We're always trying different things or challenging ourselves and just trying to find a whole wide variety of different things that maybe we enjoy, or see if we enjoy them or not.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me, like you said, was for fitness, a lot of people picture the gym and working out. And to me, fitness is paddleboarding, rock climbing, hiking, skateboarding. Like, fitness is movement. Fitness is stuff that you want to do. And we get so caught up in, the huge diets and the huge workout plans and all these things. But what about eating a little bit more vegetables today and going for a walk instead of eating Snickers and watching Netflix? Like, that change alone will change your entire life.
Small changes.
If you did that every single day.
Small changes, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. But if you just made that one teeny little change every day for the rest of your life, you would change your life forever. And it's truly that simple. And that's why we always talk about, do the things that you actually want to do. I have so many people that come to me that be like, hey man, I don't eat bananas. I'm like, cool. Don't eat bananas then. And they're like, no, but they're healthy and I just make myself eat them. And I'm like, dude, that sounds horrible. Like, don't force yourself to do anything. Don't make yourself eat something because Bill down the street said he lost 18 pounds doing it. Like, do you make what works for you? And that's how it becomes a lifestyle. Go ahead.
I think one of the biggest things that I have learned, and I just seen one of our members post it the other day, but is learning to get in tune with your body. Because there's so many people, like Dustin said, who try to do things like somebody else. Like, well, so-and-so did this program or they followed this nutrition plan and it worked for them. It should work for me. We're all different people. We all have our own different things. Things will work for us differently. So like, one of the biggest things for me was learning to get in tune with my body and listening to it. How does it feel or react when I do something? Does it, enjoy that process? Does it kind of fight back against it? And just trying to be more in tune with that is going to help you in the long run with figuring out what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I like that. So you guys were going through all that, trying to figure out what you like, kind of dialing it in. What did that lead to? Is this where VIKINGS and VIXENS came in?
So we actually ended up converting a school bus into a house.
I seen that. Thing's pretty sweet.
I actually left the railroad. Yeah, so we're actually, I'll get to that. But so we traveled all of 2018. We started a small company and we started helping people with meal plans and things like that. We didn't have a good vision. I had a great paying job. It was always kind of a side hustle. Like, we kind of spit it out on the side. And so 2019, it was like, okay, we can start focusing on it a little bit more, but realistically, we decided we wanted to build out a school bus and ultimately live in an RV and travel the country. We love to travel. We realized in 2018, that's where it was at. We don't own a home. We don't own nothing. And we don't have kids. And so it was like, let's just go and see and do. And so we converted a school bus. We built it out all of 2019, basically. And in 2020, we left the railroad, we left in our school bus, we was going out to take on the world, and the coronavirus hit. So we ended up getting our school bus done and the whole thing. And for the last year, we have settled in Bluffdale, Utah, which is just outside of Salt Lake City, where we have created VIKINGS and VIXENS. We have built the brand that we want. We have taken the time to do the things the way we want to do them with our one-on-one clients, with our group coaching, with the programs that we offer. And we really, really just dialed in who we are, what we want, and how we wanted to do life. And so along the way, we found that we maybe didn't like this part of our lives, or we maybe didn't like this part of ourselves. And we dove in, we did some hard work, and we're coming out the other side of that. And it's been super cool, man. Again, like, we wrote books, we've done articles and all these things, but like, it's all coming up and starting to hit like right now. For the last 3 years, it's been social media and building and all these things. And basically, we created this amazing situation that we're getting into now, which was the book drop, was the tour kickoff. And everybody's like, oh, what's a tour? So, being that the coronavirus has pretty much opened up, everything's kind of, getting lackadaisical again. Tonya and I are actually moving back into the school bus. And we are going on tour in 5 weeks. So in 4 weeks and like 5 days, we have our first bodybuilding show we've never done before. And it's here in Salt Lake City. So we have about 4 weeks left of that. We've been training for it for 10 months. We're about to move back into a school bus in about 5 weeks.
Today,
Yeah.
we went to the school bus.
And then we are going on a fitness tour because the health was such a thing last year, because so many people were locked down and things were really, really complicated as a society. Tonya and I want to bring health back to the forefront. And so we are loading up the bus and we are headed to 10 different cities in 10, well, I guess it's not 10 different states, but 10 different cities across the country. We are meeting at parks and we are putting on a group workout with a nutrition seminar. We're going to have games and prizes and do the whole thing. And it's all going to be completely on donation for another company that we've partnered with. But we just want to get out. I want to shake hands, man. I want to smile. I want to kiss babies. I want to have fun. I want people smiling like you are.
That's
right
exciting.
now. I want people,
That's exciting.
Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah.
And so we're going, man. We're doing it. We're going to have some masterminds in the evenings and stuff that are going to work directly with Tonya and I and do some VIP stuff and some really intimate, hard-ass work on healthy living.
That's awesome.
And like I said, the last year and then our book and then the tour, like it's all just kind of coming together right now. So when you asked us to be on your podcast, you kind of hit like a perfect storm of us having a ton of stuff going on right now.
Heck yeah. That's exciting, man. Congrats to you guys. That's all. That's so cool. Do you guys have a go-to system or anything with your fitness and health? You said, I think you said something about a 5.
Yeah, it's cool. So the biggest thing, it's what we wrote in our book and we go farther in depth. It's what we do in our group coaching is we talk about habits and making small changes to your habits.
Mm-hmm.
But we have 5 particular habits that we make sure we do every single day. And I'm going to let her go over it.
All right.
So these are the principles or habits that Dustin and I have worked on and the things that we have done since we started our journey, and we live them every single day. The first one is we eat predominantly whole foods. We try to stay away from processed foods, eat whole foods, drink plenty of water, get plenty of exercise, get some sun, and get quality sleep, because sleep is one thing that is so underrated and we take for granted. So those are the 5 things that we focus on every single day to help us live a healthy lifestyle.
And then, like I said, with habits and things like that, those are the things that we coach specifically in group coaching. It's what we dive deeper into in our book. It's just like them 5 principles. If we can start making adjustments to exercising and the foods you eat and the way you sleep and how much sun you get and how much water you drink, you're going to be on your way to living a healthy lifestyle. And those are all 5 things that every single person on the planet can duplicate over and over and over again every single day. What I mean by simple and useful to society.
Yeah, and there's no way you can argue against it because unless you're not doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've had people come to me like, oh, your program doesn't work. I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I know that you didn't do the work, but okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm sure at first that was kind of hard to hear, but I'm sure now that you've got probably the odds or the percentage of successful people is definitely got that in clear sight for you.
Way higher. Yeah.
So
most people are successful when they do these simple things.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we focused on, like you said, from 2018 till last year when we decided to get the apartment, we traveled all the time. And so we focus on keeping things so simple or where you don't have to have a lot of space. So just hitting on those key elements every single day, it's all you really need. I think, we're so easy to overcomplicate everything from the foods we eat, the exercises we do. If you could literally just keep it very simple, the easier that it's going to be and the more results you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, man, we literally had a microwave, a refrigerator, a instant pot, and a little electric skillet. And that was all we had for basically 3 years until we moved into the apartment.
Yeah. We worked out in lots of parking lots, parks.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms.
Yeah. And just made do with what we had and just did it.
Zero excuses.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. So one thing I said that really stuck out to me, Tonya, it was in your bio. You said we were fueling each other's fire and kept falling further down the rabbit hole. And this was in the negative context of where you guys were going. It's crazy how you guys work together to go down this deep hole in a negative way, but then you work together to get out of this hole and look where you're at now. So to me, with Fire Through Fog and where I'm trying to go with this is that if we just come together, whether it's husband and wife or a group of people, someone may not have a support system. Maybe, I don't know how your guys' support systems were, and you can speak on that, but if someone doesn't have a support system, I'm trying to build this network of support for them with resources and stories so they can know that someone has gotten through this. Someone else out there has done this. So why can't I, or why can't you, So that's cool. I love that, reading that.
Yeah, I think support is the biggest thing. And, when we were going through our hardship, especially in 2012, it didn't feel like we really had a lot of support. And I think that was really hard, especially like to look back on it and think like, wow, we kind of went at that ourselves. And support is huge. And so, for anybody who's listening, I would say if you are struggling with any of the above, like you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Dustin, you can reach out to Kelby. Like there's people out there to be your support system. So don't be afraid to reach out, and you don't have to go through things alone, because for a long time, especially like with the disease that I was fighting with, I didn't know of anybody else who was going through it. So for a majority of it, I felt like I had to do it alone because nobody understood what I was going through, and I couldn't explain it to somebody to where they would understand it. So for a long time, I felt like I was very alone, and that hurt me more than anything. So find support systems.
Yeah.
There's groups out there, like reach out for help, or like nobody's going to turn you away, or if they do, they're an asshole.
Yeah.
But they're not the right person for you.
Yeah.
But reach out, find people for your support, and if you don't have anybody, I will be your support system.
You give me chills.
When she said, that it was basically we fueled each other's fire. The only thing I want to touch on that is, if you guys hear somebody talk about us, a lot of times they say we're ride or die, and I take that very seriously. I got chills just saying that. But the reason I say that is when I was 6,000 milligrams of prescription pills deep, she was by my side. I would literally have her sitting on my lap while I was flirting with another girl. Like, we were ride or die. She was with me no matter what. And we fueled each other. It's like, yo, you want to go? Yeah, I'm in. Hey, you want to go? Yes, I'm in. You want to go? Yes, I'm in. And so no matter what, no matter how deep we were, how dark we were, we was in it together. She always knew I was coming home. She always knew I was with her. Just like there was a lot of shit that was going on and a lot of things that happened in between time. So when we say like we were fueling each other's fire, we still do that today. And you guys can feel our energy when things hit. It's like, oh shit, here they are. And that's that fuel. Is we've fueled each other negatively, but I will be 100% to tell you we've fueled each other just as much positively. Yeah. And so when people see us, it's like, damn, you guys will go through anything together. And it's like, hell yeah, we're ride or die.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You guys are cool.
Thank you.
I usually, unless you guys got something to add, I can head into my final question for you.
I don't really.
I got something.
Go ahead.
With social media, with all these things, I can only speak over Friday and the years before that. Is Tonya and I put out tons we got over 400 YouTube videos, 2,000 posts collectively, blog posts and all these things. And every day we just kept going. And there was days that we'd be like, why do we even do this? And it was like, because we're supposed to, so just keep going. And we didn't never even realize that until all of it starts working for you instead of against you. It feels like everything's against you in the beginning. And you're just posting and doing and trying to be good and doing all these things, and none of it clicks, none of it works. And I promise you it'll be way easier to quit, but you'll pay for that later too. But for us, man, bottom of my heart, best thing I can tell you is keep going, whether it's in your fitness, your relationship, your anything. If you really want it, then keep going. Because like I said, the book drop on Friday, like because of all the work we had done previous, it finally showed up for us. And it was like, yo, we won.
That's awesome, man. You gave me chills once again. Like I needed that, honestly. I mean, sure. I definitely doubt myself almost every day. Not going to lie.
I sure do. And that's part of the, like, we literally have over 400 YouTube videos. We literally have thousands and thousands of social media posts.
Yeah.
And you can go back to 2000. I have posts that have 3 likes on it and 2 comments. And the comments are, "You're an asshole." Oh, okay, cool, man. Thank you so much for being a nice guy. You know what I mean?
Don't quit.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I do have something to add. I actually wrote a post on this today. It's never too late to make a comeback. So one of the things I learned yesterday when I was listening to church is that as long as you have air in your lungs to breathe, as long as your heart is still beating, you can still make a comeback, no matter what adversity you are facing. Just because it might seem like you're in the fog right now, if you just keep going, like, you have the capability as long as you're willing to make a comeback.
Yeah.
The choice is yours.
Heck yeah. So yeah, my question was, though, which you did answer it, is it used to be, what do you think it means to be a fire through a fog? But then we kind of changed it up saying, what advice would you give someone that is going through something similar or some fog right now?
Keep going.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the first 4 words that were told to me in social media was add value and do it consistently. I guess it's fine. Do add value, do it consistently. And that was all that was ever said. And I didn't know what that meant. So we just literally started add value and doing it consistently.
That's awesome.
And I'm telling you, over the last 3 or 4 years, man, it's truly, most days felt like no one's watching. No one's paying attention. No one's seen your videos. You click on your YouTube and it's like 123 views. And it's like, man, we spent 28 hours making a 10-minute video and 23 people watched it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that can crush you.
It does. It does. And it continues and it continues. And it just feels like you're doing it for nothing. But I can say, like I said, with the book, it was just that, like, okay, all the work we've done previously has built up and built us up to where we are today. Today, this is who we are. We're going, we're pushing, we're moving. But
That's
I'm
awesome.
telling you, everything behind us was a real struggle, a real push. It was hard. You know, I think the hardest thing was starting things out with fitness, business, anything is, you think your friends and family are going to be like, oh shit, everybody's going to be paying you and buying your stuff and doing all these things. And it's not the case. And it's not that they don't love you or that they don't care about you or they don't want to listen to your podcast or watch your video or whatever, but everybody has their own shit going on. And not everybody wants to be in shape. Not everyone wants to hear you tell them how to live a relationship. Nobody wants, you know, and so as you continue to go, you continue to find your people and you continue to fit your niche and find out where you need to be and things like that. And that's why you got to keep going. Because if you quit at any time in between there, you'll never get there.
Man, you have literally filled everything I was doubting myself this weekend of. I appreciate that. Like, I feel like everything is placed in your life at the right times. And right now you guys have been placed in my life at the right time. So I really appreciate it.
I had that hankering this morning when I got you.
Yeah.
I giggled sitting on the couch. Only because I know we're a lot. And what I know we have a huge, and it's like, holy cow, you know? And so this morning he's reading some of our bios and things like that. And it was like, oh, you guys got all kinds of stories. Yeah. And I could tell the excitement in your voice. And I said, this is going to be good for him, man.
For sure.
Let's give him everything he needs.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate it. You guys want to put any kind of plug in there, anything where people can follow you?
Yeah, if you want to follow me personally, I am on Instagram and Facebook and both the Tonya Johnson, and Dustin is _Dustin Johnson. And then you can follow us or check out our website, VIKINGSandVIXENS.com. If you want to follow our upcoming tour, everything will be posted on there as well, or at The Fitness Bus on Instagram.
And YouTube. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We got content everywhere. And if you don't keep moving, you'll never get where you're headed. And that's honestly what I meant, man. Just keep going for real. Keep dialing in how you want to do things, and you'll figure it out.
I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate your guys' time. And if you guys don't have anything else, we can wrap this up.
Cool. I don't got anything else, man. Thank you for having us on there. I hope this is helpful to all your people. And if they need any help, man, they can reach out to her or I. We'd love to help.
This was a great one. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.